Well, when my thing decides to go, oh, go.
Okay. What's up, everybody? We got a special episode of the podcast today. I have hijacked his platform. My name is xChaseMoney. I've been here twice, right? 2 times.
Think so. Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay. So I'm now here for a third time, but now I'm in the driver's seat. So I'd like to reintroduce y'all to Dylan of the Hodgepodge Podcast.
Yeah. Look, man, I appreciate you taking your time out to do this for the 400th episode. I know you didn't have to. You could have just read it and said "screw you," but glad you say yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So
I like your setup too. You got a new setup. No more green screen.
Yeah, well, I had since we added, so I have the Elgato green screen, which is
You
know about the Elgato green screen? By chance?
Yeah, I've researched them before.
Yeah, it's the pull up one. So I had my old one was just I had it for 4.5 years. It just took up so much space and it was always there. So I got rid of that, and then we got the Elgato screen, so I could put it down, pull it up whenever I want. So I got that.
Gotcha.
Because a lot's happened, right? So we did a 2020 reflection. When did we do that?
And it was before the holidays.
Was this before or after YouTube terminated
No,
this was
before. This was
okay.
before.
All right.
Like 2 weeks before, because I remember messaging you about it because I was gonna put it in a link in the description and nothing happened. So this was way before.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's like a time capsule moment where I can remember like when something happened, as if it was before or after the nonsense. So, based off of some of the stuff we did that day, I do have a couple questions that we're going to get to probably later on. Now, is this also a birthday tie-in thing we got going here?
No.
I thought it was your birthday. I thought it was like a birthday episode.
No, it's the 400th episode.
400th episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shit. So when's your birthday?
January.
January what?
19th.
January 19th. Okay, happy belated. Okay. All right. So, did you watch the Super Bowl?
No, I didn't watch the Super Bowl, dude. I'm not no sports person. What are you talking about?
Really? You
know,
no sports.
Wrestling. That's about it. Honest to God. That's
For real?
It. For real. That's it.
Man. Because it's usually you run into somebody who watches at least one of the major sports. So
now I will watch, for example, if this Super Bowl would have been all hyped from the get-go, then maybe I would have watched it. But, I watch some games depending on the popularity.
Well, I thought it kind of was, considering Tom Brady is not in New England. Like, he was in Tampa. He made it back to the Super Bowl the first year he got there. And, it was kind of him versus Mahomes. Alexa,
well,
stop.
Let me ask you this about...
Oh, my God.
You're going to get mine going off, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me ask you a question about Tom Brady. Now, I'm big into these conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Do you think Tom Brady is paying off this NFL president and all that stuff to give him all these wins and such?
No, I don't. Keep in mind.
Or is he just that good?
I mean, I want to be full disclosure. I'm from Pittsburgh. Okay. So, it was I did not care for the Patriots. Okay. It's just there's a rivalry, and he has always somehow had the Steelers number throughout his. I mean, he's been playing for 22 seasons, something ridiculous. It's over 20 seasons,
sure.
Right? I mean, any questions that people may have had about his skill level, probably I don't know if you can still do that. I mean, he's been to 10 Super Bowls, 10 Super Bowls, and now he is no longer affiliated with New England. He's also 43 years old. I mean, you don't see 43-year-old quarterbacks winning Super Bowls after being in a brand new system from a team who has not been a good team for over a decade. You know what I mean? It was a lot of pieces that barriers that he knocked down this season. So a lot of people are not going to give him credit for the other Super Bowls. Well, that's fine. But for this one, he has to get some credit. Now, as far as him paying people, like back in the 90s and the 80s, like there was people would say that people were being paid. It was more believable because there wasn't as much money. How much could he pay a president? Like these people are like they're rich. Like what's he gonna do?
But I don't think that's the concept they're saying. I think it's just that he's committed to winning. That's what I'm trying to get at, because that they're probably one of the richest people in sports today. The presidents would be like, but I think it's just a concept thing of as I respect you this much, then I'm going to give you whatever amount or do whatever just to let me be the biggest winner or the longest reigning champion of your decade. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know sports, so I don't really can't sports talk or have the sports knowledge. But that's just a big conspiracy that I look at on. I seen it on Reddit the other day, and I just got lost in it for a couple of hours.
I need to. Which subreddit is that? Because I need to go and check that out.
Oh man, I don't know. I'll go back and find it and I'll send it to you.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of a lot. The reason I say that is because there was in the 90s with Jordan. He was obviously the poster boy for the NFL, more so than Tom Brady is the poster boy. I'm sorry, he's a poster boy for the NBA, more so than Tom Brady is the poster boy for the NFL. Michael Jordan. It was different. It was one of the first marketed players like that, who's just everywhere, clothes everywhere, shoes everywhere. All the shoe companies were making the shoes, the color of his teams, jerseys, and all of that kind of stuff. So people did feel that there was a lot of special treatment given to Michael Jordan, but then when he retired, the NBA ratings went way down. So I thought after people saw that they would, it's not really good to have one guy that's like the face, and then when they retire, the ratings go down. So there was speculation that after the ratings went down, the NBA decided, well, instead of basically having this one guy, we're going to spread this love around to all the stars to try to revitalize, our ratings and everything. And, I feel like that was kind of a lesson for other sports to not do that, because when that person retires, it could hurt a lot. So I don't know how smart it would be to invest that kind of resource into a player who's, he's 43. We don't know how long he's going to play. He could retire today. He could retire in 3 years. I don't know. Now I will say, there is Vegas and betting and weird stuff that happens in sports, and this has been going on for decades. You know what I mean? You could tell they have a handle on the game in some form or fashion, because a team will be up. Let's say your team is down 40, right? You're a star player. Team is down 40. It's the end of the year, and you're getting ready to go into the playoffs. You probably don't need to be on that field because your team is already going to lose. It's a meaningless game. You're probably going to get injured. A lot of these teams are leaving these players on the field because of DraftKings and all that kind of stuff. Right. So, there is a little bit of that going on, but I don't really keep up with that. I just try to take the game for what it is, obviously. But I've seen much better Super Bowls.
Yeah, I don't find sports interesting, but I find some of the major players in the sports stories interesting. So, of course, I watched the Jordan documentary just because he was just this big staple in a lot of people's lives. And then I watched the Tiger Woods documentary, and then that guy just got in a wreck and his career's over, they said. They said there's no way he's going to play again. And so I like the documentary type sports drama type, I guess. That's how I get my sports in. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. All right. So you said you're more into wrestling. How long you been in wrestling? How'd you get into that?
I don't know how I got into it, but I was probably 3 or 4 first time I watched it. And so that would put about 20 years. So I guess that was early 2000s. So they were getting out of the Attitude Era at that moment. And so kind of, whenever I talk about it, that's just me going back and researching and reading a lot of these books and history and stuff. But, WWE has gone downhill very, very, very badly. And they got this new this new show AEW. They got this new show AEW, or All Elite Wrestling. I don't know if you've heard of it. And because one of my heroes, the reason I started this podcast, Chris Jericho, just because his statement towards life, and so I follow that guy wherever he goes. And so I don't know. People say the real wrestling's dead, but can you really say that? I don't know. But yeah, I was probably 20 years I've been watching it.
So you didn't really get to see the Attitude Era when it was happening. No. Probably too little.
No. It was who was big at the time. 2001. So I think that was around the Mick Foley era when he was really hitting it. So I think my first actual big wrestling you're a fan of, I guess you could call it, would be like John Cena.
Oh my God.
People like those. And then I realized that once like Roman Reigns came in and how bad they pushed him down our throats, why everybody hated John Cena so much.
Yeah.
Just because he was shoved down your throat so much. And I guess as a kid, you don't realize that. Like that is like wrestling is kind of like a cult. Like you're not allowed to cheer the bad guys. You have to cheer the good guys, and I saw that firsthand. Like Jericho my whole life was a bad guy, but I dare not cheer the bad guy because that's going to make me look bad on the the wrestling business.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of people say that John Cena saved the organization for those few years. I had already stopped watching wrestling. It literally, because I watched the Attitude Era. I was there in the 90s and stuff. Once that kind of phased out and the guys that I watched started to like kind of become part-timers or like move on to other stuff. But I just kind of like outgrew wrestling. So I didn't really see all of that, that kind of stuff. But there were some bad guys.
I did for a moment though. I stopped watching for a moment, like a good couple of years, just because I thought it was for kids. And you're like, well, that's for kids, I don't need to watch it. And then you just like, you know what? Screw it. There's grown men that crying over the sport.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, dude, I'm telling you, that Attitude Era, I don't know how it was on TV. Dude, you missed it. It was.
I wish it, because I'm going back now, watching like they got WWE Network and stuff like that, and I'll read. Right now, I'm reading Mick Foley's book, and I'm trying to get the insights of it because I missed, in my opinion, the good amount of wrestling that happened there, because you had Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, you had Sting and Goldberg and Taker when he was in his prime, and so I don't understand how it was on TV being a TV 14 rating. And it being basically unrated. Like it was basically X-rated for some segments.
The antics, like that's what I'm saying. I think because it was on USA, and I'm like, how? Like now, I'm saying when I was a kid, it wasn't. I didn't think of ratings and all of that. It was just wrestling. But like now, I'm like, I mean, they were having. It was softcore porn.
Yep.
In the middle of some of the matches, they had like mud wrestling matches. I could show you a screenshot of Edge and Lita. Like, have you ever seen that
celebration?
Yes,
sex celebration
in the middle of the ring.
That was around the time that I was kind of actually religiously watching it at that point. And I remember when that happened, my mom was like, "There's no way you're gonna watch this shit anymore."
Yeah. So, and then like the games were really good, you know what I mean? Because that's right when like you had your earlier games from the Genesis and all that, but then we started to get the SmackDown, WWE SmackDown, No Mercy, Warzone was on Nintendo 64. That was like the first big one, because I just remember like when I was in school when Warzone came out. Do you remember Warzone at all? You might be a little bit too young.
No, I played it. I don't remember when it came out, but I played it.
Yeah. So I think that was the first one of the first bigger ones where you could, create your own wrestler and play through the story. And then WWF was Attitude was the follow up to that. So I remember like all of that. I don't know what happened, dude. One day I was watching it less and less. And then, after that, there was a whole bunch of guys that I didn't know. And then it was like the merger of the different branches of wrestling organizations. And now it's just, I don't know very many of these people at all, unless they're extremely popular or they have like memes or something like that.
Right. No, that makes sense. I'm the same way. I watch it here and there. I'm not as big as I was. Like I'll DVR it or something like that, and maybe I'll catch it. But most of the time, I just watch like short clips, like on Instagram or YouTube. That's kind of how I catch it now, just because I think it's gone down the can as well. So,
what do you think happened?
One of those people. And I don't know. I think with WWE is they went kind of more of a kid-based wrestling. Like, and I know that sounds weird because kids are watching, but weren't kids watching it when it was the Attitude Era and TV 14? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and now they're like, okay, there's going to be no blood. There's going to be no this, no that. And they also overuse so much stuff that it's crazy. Like, back when the Steel Cage and the Hell in a Cell matches, when those were like once a year things, now they got this big pay-per-view that has 8 Hell in a Cell matches on it. So I think they just overuse it and people just get tired and they bore of it. Like they're basically just jaded.
Yeah. And the games are horrible.
Are terrible, man. Once 2K took over, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It was bad. Now it's just like you just get on it and you play, or you what is it, like you just get a regular match, or you do whatever you want to, and then you get off of it. Like there's no story mode with them that I thought were fantastic, because back in the day you could create your own character and take that character throughout the whole year of wrestling and go to the main event. And I thought that was great. And then they killed it, man. They killed it. It was, yeah.
They can't get voice actors to the wrestlers to do voice acting, which is weird because like I played SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, 2007. I think I played 2008. Like I played 2 or 3 of these series on YouTube, and they're fantastic games. I played them late because, like I said, I was already out of the wrestling the world. I wasn't really watching, but those games are great games. They still look good graphically for its time. Like, and it was something about even the games that I mentioned earlier, No Mercy and Attitude, just being able to create a wrestler and put them in and have them be really involved with the storyline and the universe, and having some of your favorite wrestlers or wrestlers you don't like talk to you and talk trash to you and all that stuff. And that's just basically gone. 2K took it over, and they turned it into like a simulation. Nobody wants to play simulation wrestling. Yep. Now, there's some elements that work. Like I understand, like you can't have unlimited reversal. Fine. But like there's other parts of it. It's like this is not what we want to play. So I don't know. Do you know anything about the situation with 2K in the studio that split?
Wasn't it like half of them took games and the other half took games? Is that not right? Because if not, then I'm not sure.
Well, what I'm talking about is the name of the studio that made the games was Ukes. That was the name. Okay. They were with the WWE, WWF franchise for over 20 years. They were the ones that put together all those great games, from the SmackDown games all the way up until they got basically picked up by 2K. They had the face scans. They had the tech. They had the engine. They had the core of the game. What happened is, I guess them and 2K could not reach some type of agreement, and they split, which is why WWE 2K20 looked so bad, because even the wrestlers, the Rock looked like me. Bro. I swear to God, bro, I was in the game. Like, like it was god awful, and that's why. So those guys, I don't know if you know this, they split. They left. Now they're over at AEW. So the original great wrestling developers that made SmackDown and all those games.
Oh my goodness!
They're now doing AEW. And they're going to have a nice budget for their game.
And that AEW game is going to be so goddamn good if they're taking it over, man. Yeah. I hope.
Yeah. When you get some time, there's tons of YouTube videos just kind of showing some of the stuff. It's not a lot, but the game is being worked on. I like, even though I didn't like, there's I don't know if you're like this, but there's things that I don't watch, but I'll play. I don't watch tennis or golf, but I'll play games that have, I'll play tennis or golf, especially the Tiger Woods golf games back in the day. I don't watch wrestling, but I will play the games and stuff like that. So I will definitely play AEW. If they got a nice budget and we can tell, and it looks like the games we used to love, I'll be on that for sure. So we might see that in the next year or two. We don't, we kind of don't really know. Yeah.
If they don't speed it out.
Yeah. So if we could pivot over, have you seen the Mortal Kombat trailer for the movie?
Yes, I have.
What do you think?
I think it looks good, but I've always had I can't stand movie trailers because they trick us so much. And so sometimes movie trailers are 10 times better than the actual movie. So I think it looks good. They're missing one major character. But other than that, I don't know if I'll watch it when it first comes out. I think I may wait to see what the actual reviews are and stuff like that. But I'm interested. I'm interested to see what they got going.
So I agree. With that character, which we're not going to spoil because we want y'all to go and watch the trailer. I think they have
plans. And because I couldn't think of his name, but go ahead.
Oh, you can't?
No, I couldn't think of his name at the time when I was talking, so I just said that character.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't, because I'm sure somebody's going to go and watch.
No, I got you.
So what I've read is that they have plans for more than one movie right out of the gate. And this particular part of the story happens before he was in the universe. So I guess in the second or third movie or whatever, depending on how well it does, we'll see him. It's like
this is where they screw up with movies, man. Yeah. They just say they don't know how the first one works, and they're gonna be it's automatically renewed for 4 more movies. Oh my goodness! Well, this is where they screw up every time.
Why don't they just start with the part of the story where he's in it? They're like, he's very popular. he's the guy.
I don't know.
You have to have a guy like that in your like action teen movie. You know what I mean? You have to have the smart ass. I just gave away the whole character. I ruined it. That's too much information right there. Anyway, I'm watching the trailer, and for me, I really liked a lot of what I saw, because when you're a fan, without people having to have names and all that, you could just see people, and I know who this is, I know who that is.
Right.
And I was around for the first 2 Mortal Kombat movies. Did you ever see those?
I saw the first one, didn't need to see the second one.
See? So we're in agreement. The movie's garbage. You don't
like that Super Mario movie they made back in the 90s. Oh my
God. Bro, they ruined so many video game forms of media, movies and stuff. Yeah. Like, they didn't, like, I feel like nowadays they're starting to treat these franchises with more respect. That's how you get a Witcher Netflix series, which is fantastic. Sonic movie was really good.
That surprised me. The Sonic movie really surprised me, because when I first heard of it, I thought it was going to be the corny, he's going to go around and have to collect all his rings.
Right.
That was my first interpretation. But then once I watched it, I was like, that was actually really good.
Yeah. It was
surprisingly
good. And that ending, like, we brought up trailers earlier. Like, in that trailer, we got to see Jim how he should look. That doesn't happen until the movie's getting ready to go off.
Right.
But then there's definitely gonna be a sequel. and you know there's going to be other characters that were not really in the first movie that are definitely going to be there. But I thought they did a good job. I was really happy when they redid the look of Sonic, because that first trailer, he didn't look so good. Fans were not happy. They pushed the movie back like 9 months, redid his whole look. They got Jim in there, and he's very good at being Eggman. So it was really good. So these newer movies, newer TV shows are getting treated with much more respect for the fan bases, and I think they're doing a lot better. Now they're starting to overdo this shit. Like we got, there's a Last of Us TV series. There's a Resident Evil TV series. There's a Tetris movie coming out. There's a Monster Hunting movie coming out. There's
wait. How are they supposed to make a Tetris movie?
I don't know, dude. I don't know how to like it's like you guys, why do we go from one extreme to the next where it's like we get no video game media, and when we do it's bad, generally speaking. And then we start to get good video game media, but now you're gonna flood the market with this. Uncharted has a movie coming out. You seen that, right? Like it's just there's so much. We in the 90s, all the movies were bad. And that's where we get back to the Mortal Kombat movies in the 90s. Yeah. So when we look at the current trailer, I was impressed because I've seen the ones from the 90s. And this looks more believable. 100%. So,
you said they kind of flooded, and that kind of reminds me of, like, I love The Rock, love Dwayne Johnson, but I think they overflood the market with Dwayne Johnson too much. Like, sure, he's the biggest, what do they call him, like the sexiest guy in the world, or whatever they want to market him as, but I just think they overuse him. Like, he had like 2 movies come out a couple years ago. Like, one was with the big gorilla, Rampage, and then they had one where he was like hanging from a skyscraper. Okay, that's like superhero-esque movies. Knowing The Rock is not legitimately gonna do that, and I just think they flood the market with Dwayne, and with other people as well, like Kevin Hart. I kind of think they overflood the media with him. He's funny. He's gonna get my attention every time. But it's just every time you flip a TV on, do you want to see those 2 guys or this person, that person?
Right. Well, we say that, and then like people keep going to watch the movie.
That's what I'm a hypocrite because I do that, and I'm like, well, new Dwayne Johnson movies, I gotta watch it.
So I just thought of something.
Yeah.
Nobody feels that way about Samuel L. Jackson. He has the longest filmography.
Okay, because, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
He plays so many different characters. It's kind of like Sylvester Stallone. For a while there, Sylvester Stallone was the biggest thing and nobody got tired of him. That's because he played different characters.
Right.
And Samuel L. Jackson can go from a Morgan Freeman as well. Can go from a dramatic role, an action role, a comedy. I think because if you look at Dwayne Johnson, all his are, he's the muscular guy. And I was talking the other day on a podcast, and I said, I want to see The Rock make such a drama movie. There's no funny, just make it his wife's dying, something. Make it so dramified that we see a different side of Dwayne Johnson, because I'm tired of seeing always the muscular guy going to save the day at the end of the movie,
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think Hollywood's a little. It could be tough. You have one movie bomb or 2 movies in a row, and it'll stop trying to cast people. I'm not saying that's what happens.
He's making money at what he's doing. He's making money at what he does best.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like, what you're going to get when you get a movie with The Rock and or Kevin Hart in it. It's you already know. Like, you're not going to see a lot of range and all that kind of stuff. I mean, maybe one day they'll take roles like that and take a risk, and but I just hope that when they do that, the movie fans will give the movies a chance. Because some people are like, oh, so can't do that. Now I've seen some people who were comedians on every movie, and then one day they're Jamie Foxx, and he's winning Oscars, and he's doing all this stuff. Jamie Foxx is a once in a lifetime talent who can literally do everything. Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. Yeah. It's another one. Sing, act, comedy. He does all these things. We don't get a lot of those people, so it is nice. Even Monique, the comedian, Monique. Do you know Monique by chance?
Yeah.
So she
Monique, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
She
From
did
the 90s, yeah.
right. She did Precious, and when I watched Precious, I said, "Oh my God, I didn't know like she had this in her." She did a really good job.
And I
with her
didn't
role.
realize that was her. Like I knew she was in the movie, but
Yeah.
I guess you don't really process it. And I was like, wow, she actually played Precious. And I was like, that's fantastic,
Well, she was Precious. She was the mom.
Right. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Right.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, yo, like, you really don't know the kind of stuff, the kind of talent people have, because I think some people get pigeonholed into doing certain roles, or that just seems to be the roles that they keep taking for whatever reason.
Yeah. And, there's two people that crossed my mind, one that made it and one that didn't so make it, that were A-list Hollywood.
Okay.
One that did not make it was Will Ferrell. He did this, by God, it was terrible, Lifetime movie where this it was a husband and wife. They had a kid and they brought this nanny in. It turned out the nanny was a killer. Basic Lifetime storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, his movies just became god awful. After that, like he had that Holmes and Watson, which I thought wasn't that bad, and then he just had these bunch of fails. And then one that did do it with Uncut Gems was Adam Sandler, and I think he found his niche. That was a fantastic movie.
That ending though, woof.
I didn't see him getting killed, man.
You just gave up the whole.
I don't care. I don't care.
Yo,
I don't care.
I was like, whoa, like, wow.
Because a lot of people aren't gonna like the movie just because it's everywhere. Like the whole movie is everywhere.
That's the idea, though, right?
I don't know. I know it's about sports gambling, and he's just trying to get money here and there. So I'm guessing so. But it was a little boring. But then once I figure out, once I go in a movie, it usually either gets really bad or really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of what I did in it, and it just went off the rails. And then figured out he won the money, won the game, and then boom, shot down. I was like, whoa, it was just.
Well, I thought he did a good job. You usually don't see him in roles like that. And I was watching it with my girl, and she gets really invested emotionally in movies, which is why I can't get her to watch certain stuff, because she'll start having dreams about it, or she really taps in with the kid, dude. Like, I can't get her to watch like 2 episodes of Black Mirror. Like, it just.
I did not like that show. I couldn't get into it. I watched that one episode where the guy had to screw the pig.
That was the
president.
First. It got much better in the second season and stuff like that. I guess they have more money. That's what I always say. When stuff starts to improve, you can start to see it. So you watched, how many you said? Is that one?
I just watched. No, I watched the first season, and I think I just kind of fell off. Like, I just didn't get back on the train.
Okay.
No, for no particular reason, just didn't finish watching it.
Yeah. Okay. It's pretty good. I like to watch stuff with her, so I have not watched the full series, because I can maybe get her to watch one of those like every 2 months if I'm lucky. When we were watching Uncut Gem, and I think a lot of the fans that watched it probably felt the same way. Like, the movie got you kind of anxious, because he keeps doing stuff. Like, you borrow money from this guy to pay this guy, and this happens, and it's like, yo, this guy's crazy. Like, you really go on the rat with him, and then the end happens, and he's out of here. Now, you mentioned Will Ferrell. Did you happen to see the Netflix movie, the singing contest? I don't remember what the movie's called. Did you watch that?
Yes, I did, with the chick from The Notebook. Yeah,
what did you think?
I said earlier he was making some bad movies. I thought it was okay. It
was cool. I thought it was funny. I mean, I always think that. Fun. I liked his movie with Daddy's Home. Daddy's Home 1. I like that more than
Daddy's Home. Yeah.
I like that one.
I don't think I've ever seen the second one, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know if I've ever seen the second one.
Do you know who's in it?
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg, like the John Lithgow, and
and
Mel Gibson. Yeah.
So they just basically brought their dads with them to the family vacation, the Christmas vacation. Like John Cena's in that too.
Like,
It's
I don't
hard.
want to keep you. I don't want to keep you from asking questions, but I got one question I want to
Yes,
ask you
sir.
about Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
On your opinion, do you find Mark Wahlberg? Obviously, he can do comedy and action and make a killing in the movie theaters, right? On the whatever it makes. Do you honestly think he's a better comedian actor or an action actor?
Ooh.
Because I think, and here's my god honest opinion. I said this about like The Rock has a new show out, Young Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I think they both try so hard to be something that they're a little bit of. Like I think Mark Wahlberg kind of tries a little bit too hard in the comedic actor realm. Like he's funny, but I think he pushes it to be funnier than like Seth MacFarlane and Ted, or Will Ferrell and Daddy's Home.
Right. I think it depends on who their supporting cast member is. That's probably the best way I can answer.
Okay.
If they can play off of somebody who is that's what they do, then
Right.
Sure. You know what I mean? But if they're kind of trying to be the guy, it's not bad, but I just think they're better at being action if they're the focal point. If they're playing off of Will Ferrell or Kevin Hart or another person, then I think they're solid. But he's another one of those guys. He plays a lot of the same kinds of roles as well. Now earlier though, you mentioned two people, one that you thought made it, and then one that didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned who you thought did not make it as far as being able to transition into many different kinds. Who was the guy that did?
Adam Sandler.
Oh, okay.
Because he made Uncut Gems and then went on to make the like Hubie Halloween, which was fantastic. I thought.
I watched that too. I watched that.
What was your thoughts on that? I enjoyed it because he brought in like O'Doyle rules from like Billy Madison and brought in the Happy Gilmore, stuff like that. I enjoyed it.
It was cool. Like I enjoyed that about as much as I enjoyed the Will Ferrell movie. You get on Netflix and first of all, the sound effect is like the Netflix logo is like overly loud, so like that comes on, and then you get in there and there's like they get you to click like to watch new stuff. You get in there, there's a big logo, and you're like, hey, what's this? Oh, Adam Sandler has a movie. There's this video. If you've never seen it, you have to see it. This guy has all the Adam Sandler movies on like a FBI type whiteboard with the pins and the things, and talks about how they're all tied together, literally. Because I never picked it up.
Yeah. Adam Sandler did an interview. I don't know who it was with, if it was a podcast or a talk show, and talked about how they're each connected. Like, if you've realized, like when you watch Grown Ups, Kevin James's character, Lemonsoft. In the previous movie, earlier, Adam Sandler's name was Lemonsoft in the movie. So he likes to reuse names, and they're somehow connected in an alternate universe. And Adam Sandler, because he's talking about making like a Sandlerville movie where they're all the characters are coming into one big movie.
I'd pay to see that. Hopefully, they got to do that soon, because some people won't be around. People are getting old, and no, seriously, man.
I know.
I look at some of like the actors that have been around, like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and even Mark Scorsese's not an actor, but like these guys are old, man. We don't know how much time we have left with him, and I mean, we mentioned Samuel L. Jackson. He's not 80, but he's probably in his 70s now. Or
he's on up there though.
Yeah, so we don't know how much time we have, and I keep telling people, we don't know how many of these people that family members, friends, people that we've been entertained by, we don't know how many of these people are going to make it through the decade. So like, that's something to be considered, because you look at the losses we've had over the last 2 or 3 years, it's a pretty big deal. You know what I mean? So, so the Sandlerville movie, I would love to see that. But when you get a chance, see if you can find, or if I can find it, I'll send it to you. He had literally like everything was linked in like the webs, and he had like a central point, and he had figured it out and broke it down. And the guy was like, he was silly, so he was able to do it in a fun way, and keep you engaged for the 8 minutes or whatever it was before but it felt like it was 2 minutes. So you should check that out. What TV shows are you invested in right now, if any?
I am invested in Cobra Kai. I think that's one of the best shows that Netflix has brought onto their league and done. I'm trying to think what else do I watch. Have you ever watched the show Vikings?
I want to, but I haven't got around to it yet.
I started it a couple of days ago. The first episode is kind of iffy, but I think I'm in like episode 3 or 4, but I think it's going to be a really good show. I think. I'm hoping. I mean, because there's like 10 or 11 seasons, so obviously people like it.
That was my next question.
But yeah, there's a lot of seasons, so
a lot.
Yeah,
we've seen some shows that have 6, 7, 8 plus seasons.
And they just went downhill quick. Like my whole family, we used to watch. There's these shows on like NBC. It's like Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and stuff like that. Man, we were so invested in Chicago Fire, and then I just kind of gave up on it because it was the same. Somebody bombed the station. It was the same recollection storyline, and they were killing people off and bringing new people in every season. That I was just kind of like, I'm wasting my time because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I felt like that. I'm not saying it's bad, but I was watching the Flash TV show, and like the format, I did not like that it was like the same format. Like each episode, he's going to run into like a new person he has to fight, and it's just like you keep doing this over and over. They probably changed it eventually, but by that time I had already stopped watching the show, and that was before like I think Green Arrow made an appearance on there, and there was some stuff between it. I had already stopped watching it. I'm really only right now watching Mandalorian right now until we finish that, and I'm gonna start WandaVision.
Oh man. Okay. It's Friday. I gotta watch the new WandaVision episode. I am all caught up. But here's the thing. You're gonna have to give WandaVision 3 episodes.
I can do that.
Before you give an actual opinion. Because when I watched it, I knew they were saying, okay, it's all in Wanda's mind, right? It's all in her mind. She's making it up. So I could go forward with it as it was happening. But nothing really happens until the 3rd or 4th episode where you're kind of, I got to watch the next episode.
Right.
That is kind of, so yeah, I would say before you give an official opinion, you have to give it 3 episodes.
I always do that anyway, because there's some TV series that start off great and then they just go downhill in the middle or close to the end. And there's other TV series that start slow and then they're just really good. So I always kind of wait. I usually give 3 to 5 episodes, before I decide whether or not, hey, I'm gonna keep watching this or this probably is not it. Did you watch The Mandalorian? I don't know if you get into Star Wars at all.
No, I watched Star Wars. I'm a fan of it, but I haven't watched Mandalorian yet. I don't know, because I'm not a dedicated Star Wars fan. I've watched the movies probably 2 times a piece, so I don't know if I need to go back and rewatch the Star Wars before I watch it.
Probably not. I mean, you honestly, you can do what I do. If I feel like it's going to be a lot for me to catch up on certain stuff, I'll pull up a YouTube video and say, hey, what was the story? Like if I started on a video game series late, I usually try to go back, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not going back to PS1, dude, for some of these games, and I want to play the new one. So I'm going to watch the YouTube video. Just tell me the story, tell me what I missed, and then I'll start on, I'll go back like 2 or 3 games, but I'm not going back to Nintendo 64 to play a game that still has a storyline that's running. You could do that for that. Because the really only important thing you need to know is where it takes place, which you'll be able to figure that out by watching it. But like, there's a character on there that I don't want to say because there was speculation about what happened to this person. Literally, I think since 1984, dude. 1984. You people are going to get answers now. Now there was a short story written about what happened, but when Lucas sold to Disney, Disney felt that it wasn't canon, so they kind of did away with that. It wasn't official. But with this, it's obviously on Disney Plus. It's through Disney. You actually figure out what happened, and if people's theories were correct, which is cool because that's I mean 84. That's almost 40 years
That's
ago.
a long time.
So
Yeah.
you do get answers on that, which is pretty good. Plus, I like it's well made. It's not cheaply made.
Right.
I like it. So whenever you get some time, check that out. But I can't keep up with my girl, man. Like, cause she watches a lot of shows while she works and while she is when she's doing like stuff for her job. She does a lot of data entry, so she'll watch shows in the background. And when she's like in the kitchen making lunch and breakfast and everything, she watches shows. So, dude, she'll watch. Yeah, she can easily.
I can't do that. Because I'll get sidetracked. Like I'll
either me too.
Worry about what's going on the show, or just like not catch something, and then 2 episodes later be like, wait. That happened 2 episodes ago. I got to go back. So I can't do that. Right. I have to. If I watch a show or a movie, I have to.
See, I don't know how she does it, dude, but I'm telling you, she gets through TV shows like we get through video games, like, and it'll be fast. Like for me, TV shows I can usually only watch 1 to 2 at a time, just because we really only watch them like before bed. If let's say I hang it up at 9 o'clock, we'll go and watch a show for an hour or 2, hour and a half, whatever, then we'll go to sleep. She's watching the shows, while she's making food, and she's just blowing through all these shows, man. And like every time I go downstairs, it seems like she has started a new show, or she's rewatching like Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is like 9 or 10 seasons long.
I haven't watched that.
I'm not watching it. It's too long, and
too long. Yeah.
It's just I don't know. I'm not really that interested in it, but she's already watched that twice, or she'll watch all the Marvel movies. Like she's probably watched those movies
man.
like 8 times. Every time I go downstairs, she's rewatching Thor, and like she's really into it. But that's how she gets these shows.
You'd watch Thor out of all the MCU movies. You're gonna watch Thor.
She watches all of them, though. I'm telling you. Like,
okay.
Like she like literally and what she'll do is like she finds new ways to watch them. So it's like now I'm gonna watch them in the how am I trying to say this?
Supposed to be watched.
Order that the time on the actual physical time where they take place. Yeah, the timeline. So even though this movie came out this year, it was actually behind this event. So I'm gonna watch it like in order. Now I did do that.
I hate when they do that crap.
Yeah. Well, did you watch The Witcher?
Mm-mm.
If you do,
I've never even played the games.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's crazy. Witcher 3 was very popular when the game came out. When the TV show came out, there were more people playing the game because of the TV show than there were when the game came out. So that TV show got a lot of people reinvested or new into the Witcher 3 video game itself. That you have to pay attention closely because the episodes are like out of order sometimes in the timeline. But what they do is by the end of the show, everything lines up and it synchronizes kind of, and then and then now the damn season's over. So now you're like, I gotta wait a whole season. He did a fantastic job being Geralt. I was like, yo, this dude he's a beast. That is Geralt. Like the voice, the look, the mannerisms. He like a lot of people, you see somebody who's, he was Superman. And he's not Superman in this show. So you get a chance if you ever have something, you're looking for a new show or something like that. The Witcher on Netflix is pretty good. Now, what games are you playing?
Well, I'm playing the Ghostbusters. I'm replaying that.
2009?
Yeah, on PS4.
That's the good
the
one.
remastered version. The remastered version.
That's the one I'm gonna play because I played it for maybe 20 minutes. And I was like, yo, this is really good. So I'm waiting.
Yeah.
So the movie's going to come out, and I'm playing right around the time the new movie releases.
Got you. Well, I was playing effing Cyberbug 24/7, but I have to stop playing that game because I can't. Dude, I have a bug and I can't. I've had so many bugs that it's made me have to either restart the game from the very beginning or wait weeks. Like there was a part on Cyberpunk where I had to get into this tank and shoot this gun, and my gun would never show up, and I couldn't shoot, wouldn't let me do anything. Then when Jackie and V are rushing off the elevator, and you have to get dressed. It wouldn't let me press a button, wouldn't let me press circle to pull out my map or whatever to get dressed. Dude, they should have effing murdered this game, never put it out, took it behind the barn and shot it, or waited another year.
They needed a year. They needed a year.
Dude.
But the holiday season money, I have a theory.
I know, yeah.
Are you ready?
Exactly what
you
it
probably
was.
know what the theory is. You might have heard me say it. I think the holiday season is supposed to be the most exciting time for a game, right? I think the holiday season is probably the worst time to buy most video games, because what you'll see is games that are supposed to come out in the first 7-8 months of the year somehow get delayed into holiday season repeatedly. And when that happens, there's usually bugs, like full of the Avengers, Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed, Valhalla. That's just 3 examples of games. Well, Valhalla never got delayed into the thing, but that's 3 examples of games this holiday season alone. And there's others. But you look at the games that are usually buggy and look at when they come out and look at when they were supposed to. Always be alarmed if it comes out on a holiday and it wasn't supposed to.
I made an error on our last podcast that we did talk about our games. And I want to reverberate that and apologize to you and everybody. I put Avengers on there as top 10 games of all time just because of the hype. I tried to replay it. It's completely unplayable. It's not playable at all.
Why?
Dude, it is. It's not that good.
It's not.
It takes like Cyberpunk. It takes forever to get into the story. There's so much talking in Cyberpunk. So much goddamn talking in it.
That's not a Witcher game.
And then I'm playing as the female, the chick.
Yeah, Bisa.
I don't know if all three are like that, but I'm playing as the girl. But yeah. And then I'm playing the remastered version of the SpongeBob Bikini Bottom. The battle for that.
Great game, actually, in my opinion.
The remastered is even better because I remember playing that game when I was younger, like early. It was probably 2003 or something like that, and thinking this is hard for a kid, dude. It's hard for an adult to play.
I know. I played it and they laughed at me like they always do. It's like 2018.
That's a hard game to.
Yeah,
that's a hard game to play, man. That is hard. And think I'm gonna 100% any game I play. That ain't gonna happen. But try 100% in that SpongeBob game.
You tried that? God bless you.
I tried it. Dude, I tried 100%. Okay, I've 100%ed all 3 Crash games. I tried 100. Not that 4th one. That's my point exactly. I've tried 100% that 4th one. Let me tell you something. I gave up. I said, this is not happening. Dude, and it's not. It's because the difference between the 3rd one, all 3, and then the 4th one is you can go through all 3 of the originals and die as many times as you want to. But as long as you get the boxes and stuff like that, you're good. And then at the end of the game, you can go back and play them and win the jewels and the trophies. 4, you have to make it through every level without dying once, without losing your mask, collect every box, every jewel. Fuck that. I don't have time for that.
Bro, the 4th game, the tapes. You have to get all the way to the tape without dying to unlock the tape to do the level. That right there, when I seen that, I said, oh, no. I don't platinum games anyway, but I said, I'm not doing anything extra. I'm going to play the level. I'm not even going to get all the boxes. I'm going to play the level and I'm getting off. I seen what it was. And you know that last level, dude? Not the boss fight. The last level.
Where you had to use all the masks at one time or like within 5 seconds of each other?
Yes. I died 70 times.
Dude, there's this dude, Kadikarus, right? Or something like that on YouTube. That dude. And said it wasn't even hard.
How? How?
Ain't no-
You know, there's levels. Yo, that's something I always would say. Like before YouTube, we all have friends that either like they were really good or you were really good. Like, and if you were better than like most of the people you knew, you're like, I'm a beast. And then YouTube came out, as people are speed running games that we struggled on casually, or to playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out blindfolded and stuff like that. And I realized
that damn game is hard as.
I'm never beating
that Mike Tyson Punch Out.
I won't even try.
No.
I won't make it to Tyson to fight him. There's 23 levels.
Do you think that? Do you think they made it that hard on purpose?
Yes. Well,
because there's a lot of games that they're like, oh, we didn't make it this hard on purpose.
They say that, but I feel like at that time it wasn't considered hard. It was considered challenging. And you got to remember, like, a lot of those games could be beat in an hour. If they wanted replay value, if they wanted you to get 30, 40 hours out of it, you had to replay the game. How do we get people to replay a game when the cartridges only hold but so much space? We can't put a whole lot of game on this cartridge. So they just say, well, you know, game overs is really what did it. It wasn't even it was there's 100 levels on this. You died on the 97th level. Start from the beginning. That's what it was. But that was like industry standard. You know what would happen to us if that happened today? We'd be, oh, dude, I could never. Could you?
Yeah.
I like it's the imagine playing GTA 5. No, imagine playing San Andreas. Long ass game. And you get a game over. I'm never playing this again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or people be buying stuff in-game purchases. So if we can go back,
cheaters.
To all right, we're gonna talk about that in a second. Remind me. Okay, so the two things to go back. You mentioned the Avengers, right? That game was massively buggy. I know you know this, but one of the first patches honestly, had 1,000 bugs that they fixed.
Mine was not that buggy. I don't know if I got because I don't buy my games on network or anything like that. I always purchase my games. I'm like that with my books.
Yeah,
I love just the original hardbacks and stuff like that. So I always purchase them. So mine was buggy at times. Like I hated playing with Iron Man for that reason because he would never fly right, or I would always aim and it would be 90 degrees the other way, and so so I didn't really experience a lot of bugs with that. But for some reason, Cyberpunk, that I have just the disc, and the disc is completely
PS4.
It is PS4.
Y'all got shafted. Do you know that, right?
Dude,
yes,
I do.
I
can't get through the game, man. It won't let me.
They took it out the store.
Won't let me play.
You can't buy that on the PlayStation Store.
Really?
I guess man. So I guess it's deeper than you know.
I didn't know that,
bro. They removed
Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk?
Yes,
really.
It might be back on there now, but
I didn't know that.
I've been on PlayStation for a long time. They never would refund you for a digital game. They offered refunds and then removed the game from the store. Xbox offered refunds and removed it from the store for last gen versions because the last gen community, it was so disrespectful. It was disrespectful, period. But the last gen people got screwed. I had bugs the same way you had them. I had 4 progression bugs where I could not play the game. Like wait for the guy to call Takamura. He would never call. He would call and he would sit there in the corner and he would never talk. He would FaceTime me and just sit there. And I couldn't end the call. I unfortunately had to go on Reddit and found workarounds. I had to replay missions for 3 hours to get caught up multiple times. It was really bad. And I know that when they patch the game by like the end of the year, that it's going to be what it was supposed to be, because they're going to probably patch it and start to reintroduce the stuff that they took out before launch, like War Raid.
I don't care. There's not a chance I'm rebuying it.
Well, I know. I understand. No. Like, but you know, I wish. Like we could. I mean, we could. I'm sure we could have a whole hour discussion about Cyberpunk. But like, the game is really buggy. So if anybody's watching and you're on the fence, please wait for the patches.
The pre-release.
Yes. And as far as the Avengers, the thing about that game is I just felt that it was, first of all, the first 2 hours was good. I wanted them to stay on that. Can we just have that format where like you just give me the story, to have me go to a hub on the ship and to turn it into a live service type of deal with loot and a battle pass for every character was not the move. And I felt like it just felt generic at times, super generic with some of the mission structure. And you know, I don't know about you guys, but like there's like 5 voice actors that we all recognize immediately, and they were all in the Avengers game. Like it's like you just got these guys on here. It's the same people. Like, where are the new people, or can you mix it up? Like, you know, but anyhow, so you had mentioned that people who buy progression are cheaters. Is that single player and multiplayer, or just single player, or just multiplayer?
I would say, man, I would say single player.
Okay.
Because I think because I think multiplayer has a way around it where sometimes you have to, right? Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
I play NBA 2K. You have to, or you will be at 60 and he'll be at 85.
Okay. Because if you buy the power up and in level 1 you wind up being level 76, I find that cheating and you're not experiencing the game completely. So, like for Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, Miles Morales, which arguably I think is somewhat of a better storyline than the first Spider-Man game, PS4. That's just my honest opinion. Not the gameplay, the storyline I thought was really good.
All right, go ahead.
But what is that an agreement or a disagreement?
I don't agree, but it's your world. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And I'm just in it. No, because I guess I just have that old school factor of you got to play the games fully through in order to, like, there's people that are, what game was it that I was playing? I don't know, it was, I don't even know what game it was, but they were playing and they were like level 4 and they were like level 76 and were destroying me and I was level 35.
That's multiplayer though, right?
No, I guess so. So yeah. I guess that doesn't count.
So single player.
So single player would be like my brother, for example. My brother's that's why I don't agree with this. My brother's like, you know, I've already beaten the new Spider-Man. And I was like, how did you beat it? You played it 30 minutes. You started it 30 minutes ago. And he goes, don't worry about it. I've beaten it. And I said, okay, cool. And I said, well, did you see the part where the bridge was collapsing and you have to pull it together? No, I must have missed it. I go, well, you didn't play the game, right? What he did was he went in and he found, don't know how he did it. Maybe
Save Wizard.
You're more.
Save Wizard? Okay, go ahead. I know it. Go ahead.
Yeah. He went in and basically beat the game within 30 minutes because of that wizard.
Man, that's Save Wizard, man. I get it. I'm going to be honest. I don't have a Save Wizard. But
I don't either.
That Crash Bandicoot 4, the one thing that I really did like and I wanted was some of those outfits that I know I'm never getting this. Because when you get like to the last area, like they want you to do like 8 of the things. You gotta get all the boxes, 60%, 80%, die less than 3 times or 3 times or less. You gotta do all. It's like, yo, I'm not gonna be able to do all that on here. Nope. I want those outfits. Nope. See, when people use Save Wizards for stuff like that, it doesn't bother me. But Save Wizards, I have friends that have those. All right, I could not use a Save Wizard for a single player game that I'm already playing. Like I want to play through the game. I don't want to get on here and put the Save Wizard in and then say I beat the games. Like, wow, like what's the point of me buying a game if I'm gonna use a Save Wizard to give me a save out that puts me at the end of the game? I want to experience all the stuff in the middle.
Now I got a question for you because I wonder this. Because after we did our podcast last time, I was looking at the YouTube comments, right? And they were saying, I have beaten every game that xChaseMoney has beaten because he's beaten it. So I wonder, do you consider if they watch you play along or whatever you call it, the long plays, something like that, right?
I didn't really, not really, honestly.
Do you now, if you play those and they watch them, is it wrong that people consider because they watched you play it beginning to end that they beat the game?
Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm understanding this. Are they saying because I played it, they played it without them playing it?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, nah. It depends on the game. Walking Dead, Telltale, stuff that's just narrative. We all beat that game as a family. I ain't gonna lie. If this got 50,000 views, 50,000 of us just beat this game. Because I mean,
Ghost of Tsushima. That was one of them where they were like,
no, you did not beat the game. Was one. No, you have to.
Yeah,
there's a challenge there that you have to go through. There's no challenge in The Walking Dead. There's no challenge in a lot of those narrative-based games, Tales from the Borderlands, and even like Heavy Rain and stuff. Yeah, I mean, characters can die, but like, there's really no game over for a lot of those games. It's just characters will die. No, man, that's funny. Hell no, you ain't beat that game. And especially if don't let it, because on a lot of the games, not all the games, on a lot of games, I put on either hard or very hard. And some of them games, man.
There is no way I'm doing that. There's no way. I'll either play normal or very, very easy for beginners.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that before. And that's the thing about games. You can play the way you want. See, the internet has told us how you should play the game. Kiss my ass. The internet has said that you can't go, if you get stuck, let's say you're playing God of War 3. There's a puzzle. You've been trying this for 20 minutes. I'm tired of this. The internet will tell you got to do it yourself. The internet will tell you that if you go and look at a video where somebody else is doing it, that you cheated. Kiss my ass. I don't usually do that with puzzles. But in the middle of my YouTube video, if there's a locker code, a passcode, I'm not looking for that. In the middle of the video, I will go on my second monitor like, hey, y'all, I'm about to go on Google. Resident Evil, I need a locker code. The code is blah, blah, blah. Here you go. I'm not looking for no codes, man.
Do you know I did that on one game here recently, and it wasn't even hard, but it was just, my mind was like, I can't figure this out. And I went to, because I don't always watch every one of your videos, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
but
you can.
I'll catch them every now.
How's the video?
I'll catch them every now and then. And I was playing Call of Duty, what's the new one that just came out? Cold War. I was playing Cold War, and I could not figure out how to get this guy's briefcase. Like, how you had to neutralize his wife.
Yeah.
I could not figure it out. I would go in his office when he went upstairs, and somehow he effing saw me. Don't know how he saw me when he was upstairs and I was downstairs. So I was just like, you know what? I can't figure this out. And I went to your video. I was like, my dumbass, it was in the wall the whole time, and it was just right there,
Right. Well, that's what purpose the videos were supposed to serve in the beginning. Right. Strategy guides, videos. That's what a walkthrough is supposed to be. Oh, this is how he did it. Here's the thing. I have the power of editing. I'll show a lot of my mess ups, but I might get stuck for 30 minutes somewhere trying to figure out a puzzle, or in that particular instance, that guy saw me 3 times. That's why there's a jump cut. I was doing something, the screen jittered, and then I figured it out, because in between that, it's like, dude saw me 3 times. I was getting a little irritated. Like, I'm like, how?
Me too.
And I figured out what I needed to do. But yeah, the internet, it's just amazing how people put standards on other people's single player gaming experiences. Now, personally, I feel like if you are a video game reviewer with, like with a big platform, you can't play a game on easy and then review the game. I think you have to play on normal, because that's what most players that are going to watch the video want to play it on. Right. So if people on IGN are doing reviews and you play the game on easy, because I feel like what happens is, the reason I say that is because the difficulty is usually part of the conversation. Like, right. Like if the difficulty is part of the conversation, you can't put the game on easy and then talk about the difficulty. You're playing on easy. So yeah, I feel like you have to at least play on normal for that. Everybody else, if you're a regular person, put on whatever you want. You want to play on very easy? Put it on. You play however you want. Now, multiplayer though, I am a firm believer that there's unwritten rules and there's certain stuff you don't do. Because this is, people say, I pay $60. I could play however I want. You can't tell me what to do. Okay, fair enough. But if I call a care package in, well, no, excuse me. If they call a care package in and I take it, they're going to say, man, you can't do that. Says who? By your logic, you said that I pay 60, I can play how I want. And your care package was accessible to me, so I could take it. See, but I would never take somebody's care package unless it wasn't hardcore and I was trolling them. But I would never take somebody's care package because I know you're not supposed to do that. There's unwritten rules. There's lots of those that get broken in multiplayer games all the time. So I don't like it.
You know, I feel the same way because like I said, I play on easy. Just because I feel it's or normal, depending on the game. I feel it's easier for me because I'm not a good gamer. I don't play every game that comes out. But I feel if I play on the easy or normal level, it will let me figure out exactly how I like the game. Like if I play it on hard or extreme, I know I'm not going to enjoy the game at all because I know I'm going to die thousands of times. But yeah, like you said, you paid $60, you're going to get your money's worth. You know?
Right.
So
real quick, we mentioned the people who buy progression in single player. So we now have what's the last Assassin's Creed game you played?
The one before this one?
Odyssey. Okay. Did you like Odyssey?
No, I'm playing Valhalla right now. I'm playing the new one.
We gotta talk about that in a second.
Okay.
They have time savers. You know what time savers are, don't you? That's what the industry calls it. What's a time saver?
Probably.
Oh, so let's say like you feel like you leveling up too slow in Valhalla. You can go into the store and buy double XP for 2 hours for a single player game. That is bullshit. Get this shit out of our games. If you really wanted players to have options, you would just allow us to put cheat codes in, not buy something. A lot of fans don't realize that the industry has created problems and then sold us solutions for problems they created. And one of those things is time saver. You do not need a time saver in a single player game. We used to play games, you could enter a code, and then it'll let you float in the air, God mode, double XP, max level. If somebody wants to do that, disable their trophies or whatever they want to do and let them do it. Do not sell me a time saver. Y'all out here selling like resource packs, dude. Let's say you're playing a game where you need to craft. I think Assassin's Creed does this. You need a 200 wool or whatever. You're having a hard time finding the wool, or you just ran out. You don't feel like waiting. They're gonna sell you wool and resource packs for $5.99 and all that shit.
Far Cry does that a lot.
Get it out of the game.
Yeah.
And why are you buying this? So let's get to Valhalla. Where are you with Valhalla? What do you think of the game? How many hours are you in the game?
Oh, I just got it, so I'm probably 30 minutes.
What do you think about the first 30 minutes?
Better than the last one that was better than the last 30 minutes of the previous game.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Can't say much because the story's not really there yet. You're 30 minutes in. I've only really gotten to actual gameplay probably 5 minutes.
Okay.
Like, that's where I was at when you said, you were like, hey, I'm early. I was like, 15 minutes. I was playing.
Okay. My bad.
I was let me get finished.
What's the longest? How many hours did you spend on a single player game, before you decided, okay, this game is too long? There's obviously exceptions. I know there's games where you loved it, but generally, outside the exception.
Okay. When you say they're too long, like the storyline's too long, or
too many hours to beat the game. The game is absurdly long.
Okay. There is an exception to this one, but I don't think so. I think Red Dead Redemption 2. I finally played it. Last time we talked, I hadn't played it. I didn't play the first one, I played the second one. I didn't think there needed to be a continuing story with the one guy. I don't know if anybody's
epilogue. Unnecessary.
I I didn't. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of too long. San Andreas was god awful long. I think it took me like months to beat that game.
How
I
many
don't play. I
hours?
don't.
If you could think of a number for like hours. Could it be
Red Dead
40,
2 probably.
50,
Red Dead 2 probably took me 70,
70? Okay.
something like that. Then San Andreas probably 40, 50, something
Yeah.
like that, maybe.
So if we let's say we like meet in the middle of that, so we could say like, what, like 55 hours is probably around you.
Sure.
Most games is too long. You said you 30 minutes in on Valhalla. I have 110 hours.
I heard it's long.
I have 110 hours, and I am nowhere near done with the story. I may have another 20 in there.
You haven't even beat
10.
it yet?
Huh?
You haven't even beat it yet?
No. And see, and this is my problem. I'm not trying to ruin your experience, but the game.
Hang on.
Okay.
When you say 110 hours, is that side missions? Collecting things, or is that just this? Okay,
no, it is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
So this is the way I play my open world games. I'll start the game. I notoriously do this on walkthroughs. Some people hate it, but this is how I play my games. I'll play the first hour or two, get those couple YouTube videos out. Then after that, if there's side quests, I will possibly do over the course of the next 2 videos. I'll do all of them. So I will go do the video all in. I'll be level 8. They'll get back. I'll be level 89. Seriously, I do it to them all the time. They hate it, but I do it all the time. That's how I play my game. So I literally got every mystery, every side quest, every collectible with the exception of like 4. So that does add up to 110. Now, how many hours did I spend doing that? Let's say I spent 50 hours doing that in some parts of the story, the early story. Now I'm just doing all story because that's how I like to do it. Because I like to get it to a place where I could just record my videos, boom, 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 boom. But I gotta tell you, even if you decide not to, the game is long. It's going to probably take you to that place of that 50 hours, 40 hours or something like that. And that's if you're just trying to run through the story. If you decide to do any exploration and you get loot and gear and you get this cool sword that I don't want to name and any of the stuff, yes, I'm telling you, that's a long ass game, and that's not good for this game because it is not a game that's good enough to be that long. We play games that are good enough to be 30, 40 hours or whatever. Then you play games that are that long. You're like, whoa, why? Valhalla, it's too long. And this is not a conversation about bang for your buck. You play 60. I would love to play games that gave me all that time. I'm not debating that because obviously you want to get more for your money. I'm just talking about just story-wise. You don't know. There's going to be like 13 story arcs that you have to play individually for each region. I'm not kidding. When you leave where you are, you're going to go somewhere and there's going to be like 12 regions. They all have an individual story arc that has like 5 or 6 missions. You have to do all of those. And then when you think you're done, they're going to start adding more story arcs. Be warned.
Avenger shit.
Oh, man.
Now, you were talking about the longest game. I looked up on my phone as you were talking the longest video game ever. What do you think the longest video game ever is?
Longest video game ever? Now, is this just story or is this total? Does it say?
This is to beat 100%.
100%? Is it Witcher 3?
Nope, it is Monster Hunter 3.
How many hours?
693.
Oh!
Look at that. 693 hours.
My God.
Could you do that?
No. Yeah, it's funny. I have 300 plus hours on Monster Hunter World. Easy.
Okay.
On PlayStation. On PC, I probably have another 50 or something like but I wasn't trying to. I don't 100% games. I know there's a whole culture,
I don't either.
and I get it, but I'm not in the business of like collecting random like pieces of torn paper in Assassin's Creed or like knickknacks is what I call it. I like just collecting a bunch of random knickknacks or what I just it's not me unless it gives me something that I can use in the game. That's how you give me the 100% your game. Make everything something I need. No.
Now I realize you have a Goonies poster in the background. Did you know that they somewhat have a sequel to Goonies on Netflix?
Serious?
Yeah, let me see what it is. They were talking about it, that it has the same characters in a Goonies, and they consider it a sequel to Goonies.
I'm into that. I'm into it. We're in the business of remakes and stuff anyway. I think they're remaking Edward Scissorhands. There's the Rugrats have a CG. Oh, TV shows. Did you watch Dexter?
Long time ago when it first came out. Yeah.
So there's doing like a 6-episode Dexter thing with him. It's going to be Dexter again. I don't know how.
Right. I saw that. Yeah.
So, wolf. I don't know why.
It's called Finding Ohana.
And this is a Netflix.
Has the Netflix. It has most of the original from Goonies return, and it seems like a sequel to, but people call a modern day sequel version of the Goonies.
Is there a screenshot of the guys?
This is from Decider.com. I don't know what that is, but
one second.
Okay, cool.
My bad.
No, you're cool.
Finding Ohana. I see there's a trailer. I'm gonna watch this with my girl. I ain't gonna watch it right now. And it looks the art style of this like trailer thumbnail looks
right. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to come out this year?
No, it's already out.
What? And this is a Netflix show?
It's already on Netflix. It's a movie.
It's a movie. We're gonna watch this. You might have given me our next movie.
I haven't watched it, but yeah, I've seen it on there. I haven't watched it though.
Yeah, you might have gave me my next movie. Okay. So we talking about remakes and all the remasters and reboots and some of the stuff is cool. Like you have shows that we watched when we were younger, and the people are all still, they're still with us today, and then they come back out for, reboot. Maybe they were kids and now they're the adults, or in like with Star Wars, a lot of those cast people from the original trilogy were still alive, and then with the most recent trilogy they were able to come back. So that is cool, but there's tons of remakes, reboots, remasters. What do you think about kind of the recycling of media?
I don't like the fact that they were, I don't know. I understand people get older, but I just kind of like the nostalgic touch. Like if you don't have to touch it, then don't do it. That could be my parents being old school and running it off on me. Like I enjoy it if okay. Did you happen to watch the Fresh Prince reunion?
Yes, I watched the whole thing
on HBO.
Yeah.
Okay, I enjoyed that. I loved that. I think if you're gonna do a reboot, do something like that.
They are.
Right?
Did you know that?
No, they're not.
They are.
Are they really?
I'm dead serious. It's going to be a drama, though. I'm not saying I want it or don't want it.
Man.
I'm just telling you what it is. And not your reaction, that's what I did. And Will Smith is involved with the project. So it's not like it's some random thing. So I guess what happened was there was this viral video a couple years ago of if the Fresh Prince was a drama or
it was
modern day. Did you seen that?
Yes,
so
yes.
Will saw that. They got his attention, and then they started to kind of brainstorm about a project with that. And they decided that they're going to do it. I don't know when it's coming out. I don't know if the pandemic put a halt on it or whatever, but they're supposed to be doing that.
I don't have a problems with reboots as long as they're done good and they're done right. Like Fuller House, that was freaking terrible. That was rough. I'm looking for them to do like I'm a fan of like Martin and stuff like that. So I wish they would do like a Martin reboot because you could do that
That'd be
because
tough.
there wasn't. It would be tough, but you don't have to worry about kids that much because it all kind of revolved around the adults. So you can kind of see what they were doing that way.
You know, Tommy
I
passed
don't know.
away maybe 3 years ago.
Okay. No, I didn't know that. Okay.
I think everybody else is probably Martin's. Everybody else is still with us, but yeah, Tommy passed away a couple years ago. I thought they were talking about doing a reboot to that. Seriously, it just didn't happen.
Okay.
Did you see?
As long as they're,
watch it.
I think I may have started it but didn't finish it.
Okay.
Not for no reason that it wasn't good. I just probably just didn't finish it.
All right, sorry. You were answering about the.
Yeah. No, it was cool. It was just if they're done right, I don't have a problem with it. Like Roseanne, they effed that up. The ending of the regular Roseanne, you know, and then they brought it back, and then they killed her off on the reboot.
You know why?
So you don't really know what. Yeah, because she said that woman looked like that chick from the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Yeah, racial slurs or something like that, and yeah, it was. If they're done right, I don't care.
It was the
because I obviously don't have to watch them.
Was it Girl Meets World? I didn't watch. They had Mr. Feeney on there though.
I didn't like it.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't like it. My sister liked.
Which ones do you like?
Okay, the Saved by the Bell's pretty good.
Okay,
have you seen that one where
I didn't.
Mario Lopez is the gym teacher. They're one's a teacher, stuff like that, right? They're kind of Peacock.
All right, let me.
That one's pretty good.
Little note here.
I'm trying to think. They haven't really rebooted anything, really. Honestly,
what about movies?
Now, movies is a different thing, I think, because I think it's different than TV shows. Because if you're going to redo a TV show that lasted one season and 15 episodes, that's different. But if you're going to do something that went on for 12 years, you know, and you're going to try to make it just as good, it's not going to happen. I enjoyed the Jumanji remakes with Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson. I enjoyed those.
They're pretty good.
They're talking about remaking Rocky and Rambo. I hope not, because those are classics to me. Those are classics to me.
I mean, anything can happen. They could make it, and it could be cool. It's just the idea. Like they were talking about remaking Scarface. Like the initial idea is like, really? I mean, if they get the right people, anything is possible. But some stuff I'd rather, like if somebody's like, they're gonna redo The Godfather, I'm like,
well, I've never seen those, so I probably wouldn't have a problem with it.
Well, first two, I seen those. Look, I seen those for the first time 2 years ago. That third one's trash. Okay. Oh my God. The third movie, we don't talk about that. It's like if you think of a video game franchise and there's like one game that's really bad and nobody acknowledges it, that's how the third Godfather is. It's really bad. Yeah, there's tons of remakes for games, TV shows, movies. What there's like, I feel like every month I hear at least two things are being remade, rebooted, or something. All the time. Did you happen to watch any of the Disney live action remakes? I like those.
Yeah, I haven't watched like Cinderella or anything like that, but I've watched The Jungle Book, The Lion King, and I thought The Lion King was outstanding. The remake. Phenomenal. People were complaining because the lions didn't look real, and I'm like, but it's also an animated movie, so you can only make them look as real as, you know. Beauty and the Beast, I thought was a little. She looked like she was dancing with a goat, right. But other than that, I enjoy them.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with them.
Yeah,
I think they're doing Lilo and Stitch now. I think that's the one they're doing now.
Oh, I didn't even know that. See, there's just so much. I feel like we're in an era now.
So much. Yeah.
So we can't keep up. I can't keep up. There's just, you really have to like really pick, kind of which ones you want. God damn it, hurt my damn wrist. So now I have this thing. Oh, it's a warning, because I waved this to my girl. She told me it looked like something you would play with on Saints Row. I don't want to say it, but
well, my nickname in high school, when people called me.
Really? You answered to that?
No, it was kind of like the bullies. They were like, "Hey, Dildo, won't you come over here?"
Yeah. But I don't know if you know, but like I started having wrist problems from my setup and all that. So you should be careful. By the way,
you sure it's from the controller, not the other thing that causes that, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the controller, actually. It wasn't the controller.
Okay.
My chair was too low, and like you're supposed to have when you're gaming 90 degrees. Your arm, your elbow, your hand down to your elbow.
Oh, I don't do that crap. I don't do that.
Me? Excuse me. It's one of my friends. 45-degree angle. Really bad for you to have this on the corner of the table and doing this with your mouse. So I had to get one of these.
Oh, okay.
You see this? Can you see this?
Yeah.
The trackball mouse. I have to move with this, with my thumb. I do not move. I don't use the traditional mouse anymore. My hand feels a lot better, but it is recovering. So it's a warning to you and other people. Because a lot of this is from me like sitting in here and editing videos for 8-10 hours and sitting like that. I implore everybody to be careful. Jesus Christ. What do they want? I'll get with them in a minute. Real quick, because I know you probably got to go. But last question. What is your 2 most anticipated games of 2021?
Oh, dude, I don't even know what games are coming out. Let me see.
We got
Far Cry 6. Far Cry 6 is one of them.
That's a good one.
Because they moved it back. They were supposed to come out like this month, and then they moved it to like the end of the year.
Yeah. Far Cry 6. God damn. Oh, the packs. Okay, Far Cry 6. And
let's see. I'm looking up some right now.
Okay.
Let's see. Far Cry 6. Oh, man. Let's see. We're in March right now. I would say probably. I'm sorry. I'm keeping you up. I know.
No. Go ahead.
You can tell how professional we are because we knew these questions were coming, huh?
Yeah.
Probably the new Legend of Zelda. I forgot that was coming out.
Breath of the Wild 2. Ooh, we still ain't seen no newer gameplay.
I know, no new trailer. Yeah, I got a Switch.
I didn't know you had a Switch, man. I didn't know you was okay. Did you get Animal Crossing?
I've heard people talking about it. I don't know if it's worth getting. I've seen gameplay. I don't know if it's worth it.
I can't recommend it yet either. I've been playing it though, but I rage quit off of other games and then play that because there's no stress at all. You just like sit back and just like chop trees, and it's not.
Here's what I'm hoping I get from the new Zelda, from Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild to me was hard, like because the original Zelda games weren't like that. Like it wasn't you had to figure out these puzzles. No, I don't, because I think they were.
Ocarina, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, that's why.
Okay. Yeah, I played the one on the GameCube and stuff like that.
Right.
Those good ones. But I just like I think Breath of the Wild was extremely difficult for me to get through. So I can't imagine the people that were like Zelda fans back in the day. Man, I thought it was. So I'm hoping it's not more difficult, and it's not completely easy. I'm hoping there's a little bit of a challenge, but they could at least take it down from Breath of the Wild because that was rough.
So, one second. So, yeah, so The Legend of Zelda was always different than the other. What is this? Sorry. Stupid captcha code. Everybody's favorite thing to deal with. Like, if you're trying to get a PlayStation, you get a captcha code, you know you ain't getting it. I think I'm good now. It's over. All right. So you didn't watch Nintendo Direct, did you?
I don't think so.
Okay. So that was one of their like showcases. They do it every once in a while. They announced Splatoon 3. Splatoon 3. This is just before we go. Splatoon 3, a new Mario Golf, and then there's a Monster Hunter Rise, which is exclusive to the Nintendo platform for now. So those are 3 of the games that I know they announced. But I'm looking forward to Ratchet and Clank.
I do enjoy that. I am ready. I enjoyed the. Was that a remake they made for the PS4?
Yeah, it's a remake.
Okay, I enjoyed that remake. I thought that remake was really, really good.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for the sequel. I hope it's as good or better.
Yeah. And there's another game. Oh, the Final Fantasy VII. The next part of that's supposed to come out this June, I think. That's what I have written down.
I don't really like Final Fantasy.
Ooh, why? Before we go, turn-based.
I think it's boring.
It's because it's not honestly now live action.
Okay.
If you want to look at it.
Okay.
But I think that is all, guys. It was a great guest today, Dylan. We went for what, an hour and 40 here.
Hour and 40, yeah.
Make sure y'all like the video and subscribe to the podcast. You have anything you want to say before we go?
No, man. Just appreciate you doing this. I know you didn't have to, and I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anytime.